Welcome back, everybody, to Statesman.com and another, and maybe our final regular season talk about of our high school blitz. It's been a big weekend. I'm joined by Thomas T.J. Jones. And Thomas, let's start from where we always start. Player of the week. Who are you going to give your game ball to?
I'm going to give it to Bowie running back Dalen Threadgill. The Bulldogs went into last week's game with San Marcos with a chance to win their first undisputed district championship since 2007. Threadgill delivered with 246 yards and 2 touchdowns rushing. Big time showing by Threadgill, big time showing by Bowie. That's a heck of a way to go into the playoffs.
And he's got a nice restaurant right across Congress there.
Chicken fried steak, best in town.
Best there is. I'm going to go with Ryan Gardner, the quarterback from Taylor. Get this, all he did, he ran and passed for 330 yards. He scored all 7 of his team's touchdowns in a 50-46 victory over Canyon Lake. He ended it with a 37-yard touchdown pass to win it right at the very end. Yep. Fantastic job, Ryan Gardner. Remember that team.
And how big was that win? That was Taylor's first district championship in 22 years.
Well, that's something
Good for the Ducks.
Good for the Ducks. Kirk Bowles will like that. One more question. TJ, what stood out to you the most this year in high school football in Central Texas?
I think the quarterback play, from the dual threats such as Reese Johnson for Dripping Springs, to Robert Patterson for Conley, to just a model of efficiency for Charlie Brewer at Lake Travis. I mean, the quarterback play this year has been outstanding in Central Texas. And when we start deciding on our all-Centex team for the Statesman, we're going to have some tough choices to make.
And Brewer, of course, went 24 out of 25 this past Friday, so pretty amazing.
He needs to pick it up, get that one more completion.
I know what happened there. I'm going to go with this. Everybody knows that this is an offensive-minded football city, area. 50-46, 70-60. What I've noticed, though, is that a lot of the good teams still play defense. Who is the best team in town? Probably, in my estimation, Cedar Park. They've won a bunch in a row. I don't know how many. I think 26 in a row now.
Yes.
They have 6 shutouts. This past weekend in Central Texas, there were 10 shutouts. I mean, somebody thinks it's still good to play defense. Hutto, LaGrange, Lake Travis, Regents, Westlake, they all had shutouts.
All playoff teams, too.
All playoff teams. What's the common denominator? Does Cedar Park have a chance to win state again? Of course they do. Why? Because they got a good defense. So anyway, it's been fun this year, and I'm looking forward to the playoffs.
Yep, me too.
And when we come back, we're going to actually have a roundtable discussion with 2 more experts from the Austin American-Statesman. So this is going to be a lot of fun. And now joining us for our roundtable discussion, 2 guys that really don't need an introduction, but I'm going to do it anyway. Michael Adams, former sports editor of Lake Travis View, Westlake Picayune, and every other newspaper in Central Texas. Chris Bills, he is Mr. Hookem. He's Mr. New to the Austin American-Statesman, but he knows more than the 3 of us put together.
It's true.
So with that introduction, guys, I'll start with you, Michael. What game are you looking forward to the most this weekend?
Well, this probably won't surprise anybody, but I'm going with Westlake San Antonio Reagan. I like a good game in the first round, and a lot of times you get the games where they're just blowouts. But I think this one's going to be close. I think Westlake pulls it out, but it's probably going to be one of the best games this weekend.
Chris?
That's the one I had on my
radar.
On my radar as well. I'm also going to be at the LBJ game in San Antonio, so that's probably the one I'm most looking forward to. But I had a couple talking points on Westlake. It's just been kind of fascinating to cover them 2 of the last 3 weeks, and the way that Coach Todd Dodge has kind of righted the ship there after the loss to Lake Travis has been kind of fascinating to watch. I actually got a chance to talk to Taylor Anderson, the quarterback who's taken over there last Friday, and he's only a sophomore, not a very big kid, but he just seems really calm, cool, and confident heading into his first playoff game. So I'm kind of interested to see how he's going to handle that atmosphere in the playoffs.
You never bet against a Todd Dodge team in the first round of the playoffs.
Never. I don't think he's ever lost a first rounder. TJ.
What game am I looking forward to? Canyon Lake travels to Liberty Hill, 2 7-3 teams. And the reason I really want to see this game, because I hate the forward pass. And there will only be about 4 in this game. Both teams run an element of the wing tee offense. It's going to be a fascinating game. It'll take less than 2 hours, and it'll be hard hitting.
You're about deadlines, is that right?
I'm about deadlines.
You're about deadlines.
I should cover that game.
Last but not least, I'm looking forward to LBJ and Alamo Heights, has been said earlier, in San Antonio. The thing I like about Alamo Heights the most is their pedigree in the playoffs. They've been to the playoffs 12 of the last 13 years. They've got a 9-1 record for a reason. They're very, very good. LBJ, what's their strength? Probably their defensive and offensive line. They like to manhandle people. If I had to pick this game, I'm going to pick it a tie, overtime, another tie. They're going to have penetrations. It's going to be a very good game.
Yeah, it will.
Gentlemen, we've got an awful lot of good teams, obviously, in this part of the state. What team do you think has a better than average shot just to make it to the state? Chris?
Well, I mean, since you're having me start it off, I'll just start with the obvious. Cedar Park, saw them a couple weeks ago against Hutto, and just the way they played defense. I mean, it looked like that was going to be a game. It was 14-14, they gave up a couple big plays early. But the comparison I kept telling people, it almost reminded me of watching a high school version of Alabama. They just beat you up in the second half, and they've got depth, stamina, and the way they play defense throughout the whole 4 quarters, it was just so impressive to me.
Yeah, sweet home Alabama. Mike?
I'm going with the obvious. I'm going with Lake Travis. And not only will they get to state, they will beat Allen in the Division I state title game for their 6th state title in school history.
And they'll have to get another star for their helmet.
And another star for their helmet, and their first in Class 6A.
That would be big news.
That'd be big news.
Yeah, and don't think the Lake Travis people realize they haven't won a 6A title. I mean, that gets under their skin. They want that for the helmet. Mm-hmm. Who do I think has the best chance to win state? Let's go with a surprise, Cedar Ridge. This is a new school. Coach Sean Bell has done an outstanding job in his first year there. They're undefeated, and I bet you most people, if you say, well, what teams are undefeated in the area? Cedar Ridge, if it's possible for a 10-0 team to fly under the radar, they're doing it. Garrett Sharp's the best quarterback you haven't seen play. Their defense is outstanding. C.J. Rittenhouse is a great running back who gives balance to that offense. Let's go with the Raiders, dark horse, state champ.
I like Cedar Ridge, undefeated. They've actually outscored their opponents by an average score of 45-12 this year. They don't even have close games. They were good last year. They're fantastic this year. I'm going to go with a team that you would think never goes under the radar. I'm going to go with the Westlake Chaparrals. Now, that's not a good pick before the season. Everybody knows they're going to be good. They went to the state finals last year. But everybody wrote them off after Sam Ellinger got hurt. What have they done since? They've gotten a fantastic defense. They're limiting their opponents to about 6 points or fewer a game since he got hurt. So I wouldn't be surprised. Todd Dodge, you mentioned Todd Dodge, he galvanized that team. They have a chance. If they can make it through the first couple rounds, guess who's going to come back?
Yeah.
Mm-hmm.
Sam Ellinger could be back for the 3rd round if they make it that far.
And
you know who they get in the 4th round if they do get
I
that
know
far.
they get Lake Travis.
well, Chris mentioned Alabama earlier. Westlake right now is doing it with the running game and Nakia Watson, and they're doing it with an outstanding defense. That formula works at all levels of football, so why not?
All right, TJ, let me start with you. There are a lot of great players here, obviously, in Central Texas. Nate, give me a player you think deserves Player of the Year recognition or consideration.
There are a lot of good players. I'm going to go with Robert Patterson, the quarterback for Conley. He's the 2016 Central Texas Vincent Young, if you will. He runs the ball, he passes the ball. He at times is a one-man gang for Conley's offense. And more importantly, he wins games. Conley won their first 7 games of the year this year. They're 8-2, the best season in Conley since Howard McMahon was coach, 6-7 years ago. Let's go with Robert Patterson.
Mike.
I don't think there's any question. If you would have asked me at the beginning of the season, I would have said that Sam Ellinger's to lose. But I'm going to stay in the west side of the city, and I'm going to go with Charlie Brewer at Lake Travis. I don't think there's a better player in this area.
I agree wholeheartedly. Chris.
How about a shout for Garrett Sharp over at Cedar Ridge? I just took a glance at his stats, and I mean it's really impressive watching him play, just how accurate he is. But 101 of 149 on the year, almost 68% passing, and over 2,000 yards, 23 touchdowns, only 2 interceptions, and you know, there's a lot of athletes on that team, but the way that he kind of brings it all together, he's a leader. He made some really good throws when I saw him play against Stony Point in some wind, and that really impressed me. You know, that's one that I think kind of has flown under maybe people's radars a little bit.
And good pick. I'm going to go with your route, another dual threat quarterback. Reese Johnson, the quarterback from Dripping Springs, 180 yards passing a game, 109 yards rushing a game. You wonder why Dripping Springs is 9-1? Reese Johnson's a big reason.
Yeah, great year.
Guys, last question. A lot of good coaches in the area. Give me a coach you think also should be Coach of the Year candidate. Let's start with you, Mike.
I'm going to go with Sean Bell at Cedar Ridge. First undefeated season, first district title. It's worthy of an honor.
Chris.
I'll go a little different. Andrew Jackson over at LBJ.
Oh, good choice.
Really good season, 6-0 in the district, and the way they play defense and also the way he utilizes the different athletes, 2 quarterbacks, I think most of the year. It was impressive to watch.
TJ.
I'm going to stay in the AISD, and I'm going to stay in District 25 5A, and I'm going to go with Charles Taylor at McCallum. The Knights didn't make the playoffs last year. They were 5-5, a lot of young kids. This year, McCallum's 9-1. They host Kerrville Tybee at House Park Friday in a game I think they'll win. He's done a great job with a young team that doesn't have much depth. They play hard every game. They run the ball. They play defense. Great job by Coach Taylor.
Let's just hope that they keep it going. Andre Blakemore, fantastic football player, running back. I'm going to go with a different type of angle. I'm going to go with the obvious, as you guys might have said. I'm going to go with Carl Absek from Cedar Park. He's not a coach you would think would be Coach of the Year consideration because you knew his team was going to be good. But when you're 10-0 coming off a state championship, you have to win the games. You don't just roll out the football and then you play well. They lost their best defensive player and special teams threat in Jav Guidry before the season even started. He moved to California. Coach Absek, 26-0 as a head coach at Cedar Park High School.
Not bad.
And I think all of us agree that they have definitely a good chance to at least make it to the state finals this year.
Of course, yeah, definitely.
Hey guys, thank you so much. This has been our roundtable discussion as we enter the first weekend of the high school football playoffs. I hope you will continue to watch us on statesman.com with the High School Blitz. We'll be back next week with some more highlights from what we see this weekend. And as we like to say in our business, TJ knows it, we hope your favorite team wins.